health span is getting a lot of attention these days versus lifespan. And they're very, very different, and they can mean different things for your pet. And we'll start by defining them, but also what you can do to help support their health span and what you can do to help support their lifespan. If this is the first episode you're watching, hello, hi, or listening, I'm Dr. Bamonte, a veterinarian for 12 years, and I've learned a lot over that time and have made some pivots in my career that really feel embodied in alignment, and I've seen what it's done for pet parents and pets by taking this integrative, a little bit more holistic approach. And with that, I think comes on talking about topics that maybe aren't as mainstream, and that is health span versus lifespan, because they are two very different things. So when it comes to your pet's health span, you can almost kind of think about it as like their quality of life. So you can think about it as adding life to their years rather than years to their life, and taking a more proactive versus reactive approach. So lifespan is how long your pet lives versus it takes the total number of years that they are. A dog is 15 years old. A cat is 9 years old. That tells us the length of life that they've had, but it doesn't talk about their quality of life. Health span is looking at your pets staying healthy, staying active, staying comfortable, staying happy, staying functional. It's an example for that would be a dog or cat that moves comfortably, is an ideal weight, has appropriate muscling, digests their food well, has normal bowel movements, stays mentally sharp, has minimal inflammation, enjoys their life, whatever that is, whether that's chasing a ball, whether that's going on walks, whether that is going up and down the stairs with you 10 times a day because they're your shadow. And most of their life has a better health span because of these things. Two pets, two dogs, two cats, same litter, different litters, same household, different household, can have the exact same lifespan, but completely different health spans. And that's why I think it's really, really important to highlight both of them. Because I get it. I want my dog to live as long as possible. With, like, when I say that, I feel like there's like an asterisk above. However, I want those to be really, really good years. And I think a lot of us say that, but are we willing to do what it takes to get them there? Are we willing to do what it takes to really protect their health span so that they can have a long lifespan? Example, a dog, let's call him Rover, lives to 15 years old, but he struggles with obesity, being overweight. His joints hurt. He can barely get up and off the ground. Can't go for walks like he used to. He goes 5 houses down, 5 houses back. Sometimes his owners have to carry a towel with them so they can hoist him up. He's got allergies, poops, forget it. They're hit or miss on what they're like. And he's been on medications for the last 4 years. Versus the second dog, let's call him Randall. We got Rover and Randall here. He also lives to 15. However, he's mobile. He can walk a mile a day. He is energetic. He still enjoys being outside and chasing a ball. Maybe not like he used to. He is mentally engaged. He can follow his pet parents around like shadows in the house without being really sore the next day. And he is comfortable until much later in life. Same lifespan, same 15 years of age, very, very different health span. Very, very different lives. And why does this matter? Because many pet parents will focus on how long will my pet live? How long can I get them to live? Do you think they'll make it to 15? Do you think they'll make it to 12? Oh, I just want them to get up to one more birthday. And I understand. Again, I want my pet to live as long as possible. I want to challenge you though. Maybe the better question is, how well will my pet live? How well can I help my pet live? Because the goal is not just adding years for a number. I hope not, right? I hope we're not trying to get a medal where my dog lived to 17. But if the last 3 years of their life were, excuse my language, crap, does it matter? Like, then that's for you. That's not for them. So the goal shouldn't be just adding years. It should be adding good years for them. So signs that you may be looking at that may be signaling that, hey, if we continue on this path, we are going to reduce their health span. Chronic itching, whether that is their body or their ears. Chronic infections, whether that is their skin or their ears. Poor mobility. And I'm talking like on a consistent basis. If you're like they have an ear infection but they've never had one before and they're 10 years old, patterns. I'm real big on patterns. Obviously, poor mobility. Did they get trampled at the dog park and they're sore? But this is more on a consistent basis. Chronic itching, the ears and the body. Infections, the ears and the body. Poor mobility, muscle loss. Obesity, being overweight. Low stamina. Inconsistent poops. Inconsistent anal glands, which is probably due to their inconsistent poops. Recurrent infection. Anxiety. Irritability. Cognitive decline. Low engagement, poor sleep cycles, not napping, not getting a lot of sleep during the day. They can have metabolic conditions like diabetes, kidney disease, chronic inflammation, poor recovery, Cushing's disease. Now, these are not always a life sentence. We can support them, and there are a lot of ways to help support them. Increased medication dependence, long periods of medications. Their nutrition. Food is information for their body. Are they on highly processed food? Also, but what else is going on in their environment and their life? Are they being exposed to a lot of other chemicals? Are they living in a lawn or a house with a lawn that is sprayed and that is all the lawns that they get to walk on? Do they go for walks? How is their food influencing their metabolism, their inflammation, their gut health? Looking at their gut health, because that affects their immune regulation, their digestion, their inflammation, their weight, their behavior. Looking at their muscle. Muscle is strongly tied to longevity and resilience, just like in people. Loss of muscle will accelerate their aging. Looking at their toxins. Are they exposed to a lot of toxins? Glyphosate, mold toxins, heavy metals, chronic environmental exposure, fragrances, household chemicals that are cleaning. They can contribute to dysfunction of the immune system and inflammation over time. Their movement, again, are they going for walks? Are they getting enrichment? Are they getting good sleep patterns? What are their stress levels like? What's the home environment like? Because waiting until disease becomes obvious, we are getting more reactive, which can really influence negatively their health span. So, example would be treating severe arthritis, because arthritis is very, very painful years after degeneration, years after they have been slowing down. Addressing their GI disease after chronic years of issues, of medications, of highly processed diets, waiting for the abnormal blood work to show up before investigating. In fact, I just had a nutrition consult with a pet parent who was like, I want to know what's going behind the curtain with my pet's health. I know that there's some things that could be better. My pet has Cushing's disease. We dealt with a little hind end weirdness recently. I don't want to wait for the next oopsies to know what's going on. I want to be proactive now. She's thinking about her pet's health span and lifespan. So looking for dysfunction earlier, being proactive, evaluating their gut health, whether it is normal poops or not normal poops right now, addressing inflammation early, screening them for these toxic exposures. Living longer, your pet making it to their 16th birthday or 12th birthday or 9th, or your cat making it to 12 or 15, doesn't automatically mean living better. I wish that there was a direct correlation. I wish there was a direct correlation with a lot of things. I wish there was a direct correlation that the food you buy for your pet is expensive, so it must be good. Some things just don't directly correlate. Modern medicine, traditional medicine, has improved survival. There's emergency medicine, there's surgery, there's medications, there's diagnostics. So important and needed. But improving their health span is going to require more intentionality. It is going to require, first of all, prevention. So not waiting, so being proactive as much as possible. Root cause thinking, like what is driving their allergies? Why are they always having anal gland issues? The ears are always infected. Can't get them to lose weight. So getting to the root cause. Metabolic support. Personalizing and individualizing their care, because your pet's really special, right? They're not like anybody else. And long-term strategies. Health span, think of it like a retirement account. Healthy habits are deposits that just compound beautifully. Good nutrition, intentional movement, enrichment, muscle maintenance with like sitting and standing exercises, proactive care, reducing their inflammation with their environment and what you're feeding them. Chronic stressors are like withdrawing from the account, just constantly pulling money out. Obesity, highly processed foods, highly processed treats, lots of chemicals in the household, chemicals in their environment, toxin exposures, a sedentary lifestyle where they only go out in the backyard, which is, a 3,000 square foot lot. Over time, these choices can compound for them, and they can either be withdrawals or deposits. Because the goal simply should not just be, how long can I get Randall or Rover to live? It should be, how can I help my pet stay vibrant, stay resilient, stay happy, be comfortable as much of their life as possible, and enjoy their life? Because I've seen it before. Pet parents do the best of intentions. They've had this pet, usually through a very important season of their life, and they don't want to let them go. And I understand, not cutting it too soon, but they're focused on lifespan rather than health span. A longer life for them means very little if those years are filled with chronic discomfort and a copious amount of medications where it looks like they're their own pharmacy in decline. Health span is about protecting the years that they have that are actually really, really good and really, really good with you.